Hi everybody, this is Sunny at Radio.W.O.R.K.S World, and I'm hoping you've all had a lovely Christmas. And today I'm going to be talking about judgment. And my original, what I was going to say about judgment is changed because of Marina's fabulous event last week, and she's actually changed my perception of judgment from last week, so it's going to change a little bit. And it was an amazing event to be at. And during that event, I realised how much I'd been judging myself. How it took someone like Marina to step into my sphere and stop me from judging myself as a writer, and to step out of that judgment and step into a new comfort zone. And I'm loving it, and I'm indebted to Marina that she's really pushed me into a new sphere of myself. And this has been a childhood dream of mine that she's now helping me to fulfill. So Marina, lots of love to you. And on a different note of judgment, a few weeks back, I had noticed that there were more and more comments just in the social media sphere of people policing one another about being judgmental. And this, for some reason, got me curious about why so many people were telling each other to not be judgmental. And it's understood that we need to be friendly, we need to be accepting of everybody, we need to go to that compassionate, loving, caring space within ourselves. But at the same time, there's always a flip side to each coin. And the flip side that I kept seeing was the examples of people who were coming forward and saying, please do not be judgmental, don't do this, be considerate, A, B, and C. I'm sure their intentions were from a pure, really good-hearted place. But it got me thinking about another side of when we hear a message so much that it loses context, it loses its meaning, and it becomes morphed into a different experience. So from there, that led me to looking at another subject that's coming up a lot, especially around this time of year, sadly, is more people talking about depression and suicide. And when I went with the energy of this, and I went into the subconscious feelings about this, went into the experiences that I've heard coming through clients, coming through just certain things that have happened over the last year specifically, also consistently over the last few years. People not only being scared of being judged, but people also being scared of being perceived as judgmental. And a few examples popped into my mind of where this has possibly prevented a dialogue from happening. So I know this is a tricky line to walk, but at the risk of being judgmental, at the risk of being opening a can of worms, I wanted to look at the concept of judgment and actually bring in the concept of opinion and the freedom to speak, and where that has been crossing lines with judgment. And I'm sure we all have our own opinion of that, and I hope we all have our opinion of that. But I just want to bring some more conscious awareness to that, just because it really opened my eyes when I took some time to just really look into it. And also from last week, the different concept of judgment. So last week was a beautiful example of there was no judgment. I didn't feel any judgment. I released a lot of judgment of myself. But it took a lot for me to break free of the judgments that had been accumulated over the years to do that. And the specific examples I'm thinking of, especially in relation to the book I'm writing about parenting, is in 2000, I'm going to say 2016, because that's where we are at the moment. Just seeing and hearing and having been in education for more than 12 years, having been a parent for 10 years, and the judgment amongst parents and the anguish and the pain that is caused from this. So judgment coming from themselves, judgment coming from family members, judgment that's perceived to be there but not even there, the judgment of their child, the judgment of their child in relation to another child, the judgment of themselves as a parent in relation to another parent, and how I think that's giving you an example of then if we were to go out and out and out, how the media coming in and then books coming in and this and that, how it all just piles up on top and on top and on top and puts extra pressure on the parent, how the school system are being measured, measuring the children, and the school system's being measured in different countries, different continents, and then the children within the system are being measured, and then they're being judged, and then it just goes on and on and on. So when I hear now, do not judge, it's a bigger concept than I originally heard. It's a bigger concept than I originally felt. So to be liberated from that last week, and to be liberated from that, and to be able to invite into my heart a childhood dream again, with releasing judgment of myself and turning to the faith of another beautiful soul, showing faith in me without judgment, I'm holding on to that. I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm going to release even more judgment of myself. So I catapult through the writing process of this. And the writing process is specifically for this one book is about parents going into that intuitive part of themselves. Everywhere they judge themselves, to let go of that. Everywhere that they see their child and they're measuring or judging, not intentionally. Again, I'm sure the intentions are pure and with the best interest of the child at heart, but all of that, all of it, subconscious, conscious, energetically, the energy that we transfer to the children, to let go of it, to really provide a supportive space, to let people know that it's not necessary. It's not something that can be sustained. And if anything is crumbling around us, the catalyst for this is something that it's happened too often. And it's a few examples of people near and not so near to me, where suicide has occurred, depression has occurred, and seeing people in such pain because of the judgments, because of the perception of judgment, that I want to open up a space and define where, well, I don't want to define, I want to pull apart where we are defining judgment as a low frequency thing, a low frequency energy, a low frequency exchange, and open it up into a space of providing a vehicle for opinions to be shared in a safe, compassionate, and considerate way. Providing a space where people can come as they have been coming to me, as past clients have been coming to me, and continuously now shouting louder about my space that I provide, where they can come and speak freely. Not only will they not be judged, but they can also let go of the fear of being judged, of being judgmental, because that alone is another entity of energy on its own. And I feel I have witnessed, and in hindsight, through conversations with certain people, if that space is being closed off, it's closing off a space within ourselves that needs to be expressed. It's closing off an avenue of where tears need to flow freely. It's closing off an avenue of words which they just may need to be expressed. They may not even have any intention or meaning, but sometimes we just need to scream, or we just need to shout, or we just need to verbalize something. And I'm not sure about yourselves, but I know with myself, there are a select few people that I need that special time, that space to vent what I'm thinking, to be able to process it. And often what happens is the dialogue is opened and we create a space where that energy can be diffused. And what may have initially looked like a judgment has actually turned out to be a process of analysing, well, is it a judgment or not? Or this is a thought that's floating around, but by sharing it with someone in a safe space, in a safe place, we've actually come to the conclusion that it's just dissipated. So it's neither a judgment, and it's neither a judgment of the self, of being judgmental. I hope this is making sense. It's making sense as I'm thinking of it. I'm just hoping that I'm articulating myself correctly so that it's making sense, because I feel very strongly about this. Because this is what I've seen trickling down from the playground when the parents are talking to each other. I've seen it trickling down in families, in my own life at one point. When I was judging myself, there was a time when I was younger that I went into deep depression, didn't understand why I was there. But in hindsight, I can see that I was judging myself so harshly that I wasn't giving myself a chance to breathe. I wasn't giving myself a chance to think. And any time I had a thought that was considered judgmental or not productive, I would just shut it down. And then I shut down more, and shut down more, shut down more, shut down more. And that is not what I feel is intended when people are saying, let's not be judgmental. But what I do think is that it is happening as a result of that message being heard over and over again. So I had intended to be a bit more light and fluffy, but I do feel it's important. And I really want to say thank you again to Marina and everyone who was there last week for displaying to me, showing me, and on a stage, excuse me, showing me that all that judgment that I had of myself and that I wished that judgment would go. And then Marina, the angel that she is, flows in and says, don't have that judgment, write the book, write the book. That tug, that final tug that was in my heart, broken. That chain is broken. I am writing that book. And this time with the intention of it being published, not with the intention of it being deleted or thrown away. That's just one example of judgment. So, like I said before, there's many sides of the coin. There's two sides of the coin, but there's many aspects and facets of it that when these messages are being repeated again and again and again, just to recalibrate what is the effect of the meaning of the actual word, what is the intention, but what is the ripple and the ricochet going out. So, as complex as we are as humans, I will say now, without judgment, I will walk into 2017, and I'm actually enjoying the tail end of 2016. And I wish you all the best for 2017. Thank you again, Marina, for last week. And thank you, everyone, for just being up there and you showing what taking courage in just stepping up and not caring about other people's judgment of yourself or not judging yourself in a way that hindered you, and you provided these gems that are now in the world. So happy 2017 and thank you. This has been Sunny from Radio Works World and look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.